My name is Jasmine. I'm an illustrator working on a medieval comic. Welcome to my channel. For today's video, I'm going to go over how I will create the interior cover for chapter 4 of this medieval comic. It is just such a mouthful to try to explain every bits and bobs of this project, but bear with me. This is like the 4th round of this process. So for the newbies out there, to catch you up, every chapter of my medieval comic contains a front cover and an interior cover. The last video I created the front or exterior cover for chapter 4, and for this video I'm going to work on the interior cover. For previous chapters, the interior covers look like they're medieval illumination inspired, with the center image pertaining to the actual story in each chapter. So as a big medieval nerd, doing these interior covers are always a lot of fun, being able to connect to this historical period through trying to recreate this style. Even if you're not into medieval stuff, I hope you stick around to just hang out, a coffee or tea in hand. Let's get started. This is what I've thumbnailed for chapter 4's interior cover. It would look like this, with the center image being a festive scene of inside the castle grounds celebrating Christmas. It'll be this crisscross design with little jeweled elements, including armor, in the center of each of those crisscross designs. That's the plan. I'm debating on whether I want to transfer this into thumbnail paper and really refine the design, but I'm just feeling like no matter what, I'm gonna have to draw it, and doing that is gonna be a form of procrastinating. And ultimately, this is supposed to help me refine the composition, and I feel like this is refined enough. I don't think I'm gonna make it any better. So I'm just gonna jump into this. This is the 4th time I'm doing this, guys. I'm almost a professional. As always, when it comes to making these chapter covers, sometimes I need to remember how the hell I drew it in terms of format. And so I'm going to check the previous chapter's interior cover. Okay, so this is the line art for chapter 3's interior cover, and I wanted to take a look in particular at the border. Where in this page, which has the guidelines, the blue guidelines, where in this page did I start drawing the border? I think I'm going to keep this page out throughout this process, so I have it for reference. Okay, so it looks like this border. Before I draw that border, I think I'm going to first lightly sketch out these crisscross designs. They're making me nervous. I think this is spacing enough. I also marked the top and bottom of the window. I'm really scared of messing this up. I haven't used this thing in years, but because this circle is actually bigger than any of my templates, I'm gonna give it a try. Hello. It is the next day. It's 3 o'clock. I'm back from day job. I had a little bit of lunch. I'm very sleepy. I do not feel like drawing at all. So I'm forcing myself by having a cookie and sitting here. That's gonna be the start. And then we'll see how much I can get done. Since I'm drawing by hand and I'm right-handed, it's always good to start from the left to the right. Otherwise I'll be smearing the line art. So because this box is actually on the left side this time, I'm gonna draw the inside first. So I'll deal with the details later. That does mean that I will now have to draw an entire festive medieval scene. Hello, it's the next day. I'm back from day job and I'm going to tackle the inside. I got caught with house stuff so I couldn't tackle this. And besides, this is gonna take a while. You don't want to just start it and then have to log off a half an hour later. Now that it's a new day and I have the evening, we're gonna work on that. If you hear that sound, it's our Roomba sweeping the kitchen. This is the interior illustration. It's going to be a bird's eye view of the inside of the castle grounds during Christmas festivities. What I drew in red is a reminder of these decorations. So that needs to go here. I'm gonna see if an isometric template will work, but I don't think it will. You know, I'm starting to think that the isometric perspective doesn't really work with more realistic illustrations. I think this is more for cartoony artwork. Maybe I should get rid of this one because I keep reaching out for it thinking it's gonna be easy, but it ends up being not applicable at all. Yeah, so let's try this template with 2 vanishing points. Aha! There you are. Right there. This doesn't look nearly as bad as the last time I tried to figure out perspective. Look at that one! I'm a total noob when it comes to perspective drawing, so I don't know if that is wrong. It just seems completely obscene. How does this contain that? I'll probably still mess this up, but we have to still practice. Now, I'm not saying I'm right in this case. I could be very wrong, and I guess we'll find out. I'm consulting Bruegel again for reference of peasant party scenes. There's a section in this book about him that covers festivities. Yeah, here, the peasant dance. I consulted this book when I was thumbnailing this festival, so now I need him again to draw this festive scene. This piece is called The Wedding Dance, but I can't tell where the bride or groom is. Maybe it's these guys? She's the only one without a head cover, and they're in the middle. I don't know. And you can tell there's a couple here making out in the distance. It's little details like that that I'd like to steal and make this festive scene feel realistic. It's 10 in the morning and I have day job to work at 3:30, so I only have until maybe 2 o'clock, if that, to work. I'm tired. I don't feel like working on this. I don't know why I'm dragging my feet, but I'm definitely lacking motivation lately. So all I can do is continue to trudge along. Some progress is better than no progress. Before I add all of the details in here, I need to make sure that the foreground stuff is figured out. So I'm adding the little flags fluttering in the wind here, and I wanted to add one more here. The question is, do I want it to go, little birdies outside are loud. Do I want it to go from this building to this other building so it would cut the illustration right here? Or do we do it across? So like that. I'm thinking of doing it across. You're probably wondering, hey, you should have figured that out in the thumbnail phase. What's in red is the little flags. I had put them all the way up here, but that's because I didn't quite get the perspective right. Like, who is hanging flags that high up? That's like 3 floors up. They're gonna be hung somewhere that is more reachable, so I lowered the flags down here. But we want to fill in more detail, so this is looking a little empty. So that's where I'm at. Alright, this is the best I can do for now. I'm gonna get lunch. I only have like half an hour left of free time, so this will probably continue tomorrow. And the sound of your people.
I was like, yo, this is exactly what I did.
Alright, so what we are going to do is these lines are going to be a wreath. So this, I'm using this as a reference so I know how to draw the direction of these pine needles because they're gonna follow this direction. So I need to replicate this but in a straight manner. The meeting point of each of these will be these berries. So I have it drawn here when I was first designing it. So it's gonna be that. So I counted about 14 little centers where I will have to draw either a jewel design or some kind of armor. And I didn't sketch where they're gonna go, so I'm gonna freehand it on the spot. Every time I think I know what a helmet looks like, I suddenly forget. So back to reference. So I've separated all of the main elements into layers. Here are the layers. We've got the layer for the frame, the layer for the items, for the wreath, the background, the inside illustration, and then the text box. As always, my approach to coloring is a little haphazard. It's basically slapping on color and hoping it'll turn out well. I do wish I had actual tips and advice on how to better color digitally, but at this stage it always feels like Jesus take the wheel and hope for the best. Especially with these kinds of illustrations where I'm trying to mimic the little medieval illustrations that are featured in the illuminations. Those were made with actual oil paints, and here I tend to color in a more watercolor style where I'm building the layers in a transparent way. So I know that I'm never really going to fully recreate that style. I'm really just trying to make it look pleasant enough to look at. It's 8:30. I'm gonna call it in for today. I did day job and eaten lunch with my grandma and then just spent the rest of the evening coloring this, so we will return tomorrow. Moving on to the objects, this part was a lot of fun. I get to just play around with values and mimicking the objects in other illuminations. So this is the part where I was talking about at the beginning of the video, where I get to kind of dive into the time period and just live there for a little bit. 8:30 and I'm still going at this. My goal is to finish this today, so I'm not leaving. It's pretty much just the wreath. I didn't realize there's so many little details in this wreath. The berry, the holly leaves, and the red string, and then adding the texture onto every pine needle, so... Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Coloring these wreath designs was akin to a little bit of torture, just because there were so many of them. It took literal hours to not only draw them, but now to color them. Okay, the details are done. I just need to work on the text box. And only now am I realizing that I never drew the first letter of this chapter titles. This is what I'm talking about, so yeah, I need to do that. I had pulled this as a reference for the letter C, but I'm not sure that I still know what to do. I don't think I can freestyle it just yet. I'm gonna need a reference.
Content is being used against them. So let's start with a criminal tampering. So here you have a mess like that right outside your business can definitely keep people from going into the business. Shopping malls tells them, like, hey, my friend is stuck in that stuff. And then you tell them, then the friend, I guess.
I reviewed a few reference books and nothing really caught my eye, so I just went through my Pinterest and found one, and I isolated this letter. So I'm going to turn that into a letter C instead. Now it's time to do the lettering. This came with a calligraphy set. I have no idea what color it is, or I really just need a whatever ink to get this stuff done. It looks like it's black. For Gothic calligraphy, what you want is this flat nib. See how it's flat over here? That's what you want. It's always funny when I do these because I suck so much at calligraphy, but I still do it because it's fun. And why I really actually do it is to get the textures of the ink. Okay, what we want is the word preparations. That's a lot of letters. Here goes nothing. Capital P. What does that look like? Okay, so here are the letters for preparation and the. This needs to dry. I'm trying to run 1,000 miles per hour here. Maybe that'll help dry it. I'm really just hoping that all of this detailed work will ultimately create an impressive illustration. And now for placing the inked letters. In retrospect, I should have tested out this black ink through the scanner because I did not get that nice variety of ink shades. So something for me to definitely learn from next time. Overall though, I'm pretty happy with this illustration. I might change around the letters a little bit more, but outside of the text box, I really like that green and the objects overall. So yeah, I'm excited for this being the second impression that the reader will get once they start reading chapter 4. And that's it. Done with the main illustrations for chapter 4. This has taken about 3 weeks, almost a month to do. Crazy. As always, I'm usually kind of off about my timing. Whatever. I'm gonna post this illustration with all of the reference images on Patreon and then move on to continuing to draw the comic. I'm on page 8 of 45 pages. So there is quite a large amount of pages to draw. I'll be vlogging the process and posting the completed pages on Patreon. By now, you know the drill. If you're new here, hello. Check out the entire backlog to see how the hell I've managed to get to chapter 4 of this comic, which I think is already like 80 pages drawn, something like that. Now that these 2 big illustrations are done, I do feel energized to return to drawing this comic. I kind of have been finding my groove in this new space. I'm looking forward to getting back to that comic artist life, so definitely stay tuned for more vlogs covering this and all of the different scenes that are going to be featured in this chapter. I gotta do a bunch of house chores, so I will see you in the next video. Thanks for watching. Bye!